Hello, my name is Keshwani. There's Keshwani, Keshwani. We are here because we want to prepare for GRE. We have been solving GRE math problems out of this book here, the official guide to the revised GRE, the second edition. If you do not own this book already, purchase one immediately. You're going to need it. The problems that we are about to solve, or rather problem that we are about to solve, is the one that you will find on page number 159. Please turn to it. Page 159, problem number 13. These problems that you see on page number 159 are the exact same problem that appeared on the exact same page number in the first edition of the revised GRE book. We have already solved all the problems from the first edition. I'm just redoing these problems at a little bit of a faster pace one more time. If you need to watch this problem that we're about to solve at a slower pace, in a little bit more detail, you can go back and watch the original video, which was on day number 65. Today we're going to redo it, problem number 13. In the problem number 13, we are being asked, we are given a frequency distribution, and the question simply is, what is the mean, the average of the frequency distribution. And here is our distribution. Here are the observations and here are the frequencies. We have 1/2, which we are told appears 2 times. We have 3/4, which we are told appears 7 times. We have 5/4, which we are told appears 8 times. We have 3/2. How many 3/2 do we have in the distribution? We are told that we have 8 of the 3/2. And finally, we are told that we have 7/4. How many 7/4 do we have? We have 9 of them. That's it. And the question simply is, what is the average of this frequency distribution? Well, the very first thing we need to do here to keep our life simple, to keep our life at a manageable level, is to make sure that we have all of these numbers with the same denominators. So it's always a good idea to have a common denominator. It makes easier to add and subtract things when you're dealing with numbers with the same denominator. Here, what they're giving us, we have a denominator of a quarter, but this is half and this is half. Let's convert those halves into quarters. So half can be written as, if you multiply top and bottom by 2, it ends up at 2/4. Of course, 2/4 is a half, so we have 2/4, 3/4, 5/4, and this would be 6/4. 6/4. Now, all we're going to do is find out exactly how many quarters we have. That's it. We have figured out how many quarters we have. That will represent the sum of the numbers. Let's find out, shall we? So here we're going to continue our journey, and we're going to ask ourselves, how many quarters do we have? Number of quarters. Well, pay attention here. We have this, the first observation is 2 quarters, and how many do we have? We have 2 of them. 2 quarters. Rather, we have a quantity. I almost made a mistake here. You see, we have 2 quarters, and how many of the 2 quarters do we have? We have 2 quarters. So I have in one hand I have 2 quarters, in my other hand I have 2 quarters. I have 2 quantities of 2 quarters. 2 quarters and 2 quarters, that makes 4 quarters. Here I have 3 quarters. How many 3 quarters do I have? I have 7 bins. I have 7 containers of 3 quarters each. I have 7 locations. 3 quarters here, a 3/4 here, a 3/4 here, and 3/4 here, 7 of those. So if I add up all the 3 quarters in the 7 bins, in the 7 containers, how many quarters will I end up? Well, I will end up at 21 quarters. We'll end up at 21 quarters, obviously. Let's continue. Here we have 5 quarters. I hope you're with me so far. Here, 5 quarters here. How many 5 quarters? How many containers of 5 quarters do we have? We have 8 containers containing, each of these 8 containers contains 5 quarters. In other words, if we had 8 people, if there are 8 people sitting around the table and each of those 8 person has 5 quarters in his hand, well, how many quarters are all together? Again, If there were 2 people, there will be 5 quarters plus 5 quarters will be 10 quarters. A third person makes a 15 quarters. We have 8 of these people, so 8 times 5 is 40 quarters. We have 6 quarters. We have again around another table we have 8 people, and each of these 8 people has 6 quarters. 6 quarters, and there are 8 of them. 8 times 6 is 48, so we have 48 quarters. And again, lastly, we have 7 quarters. How many 7 quarters do we have? We have 9 of them. There are 9 people, each of them holding 7 quarters in his hand. 9 times 7 is 63. Let's add them up. 5, and this is 11 plus 1 is 12, 12 plus 4 is 16, 6, carry 1. I see a 10 here, 4 plus 6 plus 4 is 10, 14, 16, 17. So we have 160 quarters, or 176 quarters. How much money is that? If you have 176 quarters, how much money is that? 4 quarters make $1. Think of this thing in terms of money. 4 quarters make $1, 8 quarters make $2. How much money is 176 quarters? Well, let's find out, shall we? 176 quarters is how much money? All we have to do is divide by 4. How many 4s in a 1? 1 has no 4s. That 1 goes and joins the 7, becomes 17. How many 4s in a 17? 17 has 4 4s. 4 4s are 16. The remaining one goes and joins this 6, becomes 16. How many 4s in a 16? 16 has 4 4s. In other words, 176 quarters make $44. 176 quarters makes $44, which is just as well, because 180 quarters should have made $85. 180 quarters should have made $85. You see, 180 quarters would have been same as 160 quarters plus a 20 quarters. 40 quarters make $10, so this is $40, and 20 quarters make $5, so that's a $45. You see, $180 make $45, so this is $44. So that's the sum. That's the sum. The sum is $44. And what's the frequency? How many? Well, that's the next part. How many people do we have? We had 2 people. Think of these in terms of people. We had 2 people, each having 2 quarters each. 2 people had 2 quarters. 7 people had 3 quarters. There were 8 people, each having 5 quarters. Another 8 people, each having 6 quarters. Another 9 people, each having 7 quarters. So how many people do we have? That's what we're looking for. We're looking for average amount of money. We're looking for the amount per person. How many people do we have? We have 2 people. 7 people, that's 9. 9 plus 9 is 18. 18 plus 16. 18 plus 16 is what we have here. That's 6 plus 12, 14, 1. Looks like we have 34 people. One more time I'm going to show you how I figured out the sum. We have 2 plus 7 is 9, and 9 plus 9 is 18. That's where I got this 18 here, and then 8 plus 8 is 16. So it's 34. So that's it, we're done. So we have $34. We have $44 and 34 people. So how much is that average amount? Well, 44 divided by 34 is going to be 1. It goes 1 time, and then we have a remainder of 10 divided by 34. We are almost there. All I have to do is divide 10 by 34. Let's do it here. Divide 10 by 34. I should have left some room here. Where can we do it? Let's do it right here. 10 divided by 34. We need a decimal, obviously, so that we can have 100. And 3 times 3 is 90. And 90 plus another 3 would be 12. So that gets us to 102. We don't have 102 here, so we can't go 3 times. Let's go 2 times. So that's 68. That gives us 2. And then we have 9 minus 6 is, there we go. We stick a 0 there, and we should be able to see that we should be able to go 9 times. We should be able to go 9 times because we just said that 2 more would have enabled us to go 30 times. So this is 320, 340. 340 would have been so we are only 20 away. 340 is 10 times 34, isn't it? 340 is 10 times 34. We are at 320. We are only 20 off. We should be able to go 9 times, obviously. Let's find out what 9 times 34 is. 36, carry 1, 27 and 28. That does not look right. Something has gone wrong here. 34 times 9. 36, 6. 36, carry 3. And then 27 plus 3 is 300. which makes more sense because as I just got done explaining to you, the 20 more will have enabled us to go one more time, which means we are only 20 short, which means if we go 9 times, we should have a remainder of 14. See, 320 and 306. So that gives us 14. Let's stick a 0 there, and we should realize that 34 times 5, 34 times 10 is 340. Therefore 34 times 5 would be half of 340, which is 170. We do not have 170 here, we have 140, which means whatever this next number is, this is going to be less than 5. The next quantity here is going to be less than 5. Less than 5. Since it is less than 5, let's erase this extra part that we don't need anymore. Since it is less than 5, we don't need to round it up. The answer is just going to be 0.29, because they're asking for the nearest 100th digit. They're asking us to find the average to the nearest 100th digit. If you read carefully, it says gives the answers to the nearest 0.01. Nearest 100 digit, the answer is 0.29, but that 0.29 represents 34 divided by 10 divided by 34 rather. 10 divided by 34, we also have a 1 here. So this quantity boils down to approximately 1 point, let's line it up properly. It is approximately 1.29. There we go, that's our answer. To the nearest 100, it is 1.29. I will see you tomorrow, where I will do the next problem that you see there, number 14, which is a real nasty one. The number 14 is a real nasty one. We'll tackle it tomorrow, okay? If you were to do it today, right now, it will be a very long video. It's not a good idea. I'll see you tomorrow, okay? Bye now.